Hey guys, it's Marcy. I wanted to make a video to kind of touch on a few things because I've had a couple conversations the last couple days that just kind of had stuff in my head clicking. I thought, okay, I just want to share it with you guys. Some random ramblings from me. You're welcome. I will start by saying that my relationship that I had been in, I was with him for 11 or 11 and a half years. We were married 6.5. So I get what it's like to have a family, to not be like a single person that gets to do what you want, to have that sort of thing. Because I want to talk a little bit about guilt and feeling selfish for making time for yourself and things like that. So I just want to kind of preface it with I get it. I was in a very long-term relationship and things like that. So I know what it's like to sacrifice and things like that. Because I know it's so easy I can't do this. Like a friend calls you and says, hey, can you meet me for dinner? Oh, I can't because I'm going out, with so-and-so's work people, or we have to do this, or we have to do that, or if I go, he's going to be pissed. I get it, and things like that. But when I was talking to the DT this morning, I had to stop and kind of, it was a tougher love situation. But I said, what's something you do every day that is just for you? Because I know when I was in this other relationship, I didn't take away time to do stuff for me. I was a wife, I was a mom, and I was a photographer. I, did a bunch of, I always had more than one job, so I had other jobs too. I was all of those things, but it was who was I as a person? What were my interests? What did I do that was just for me? Not work related, not family related, just for me. Because you're all in this It Works business. It is network marketing. So you have to network. Chances are you can't build a diamond just hanging out with your family and just hanging out with a few friends you already have. Maybe you can build to Ruby that way, but you can't do it just with the current network you have. So you have to expand on that. So you have to do things to make new friends and things like that. So if you just go to work, punch your time clock and leave, and you're not building those relationships with your coworkers, or if you're, when I worked at the school, someone would go out to drinks Friday night. So if you're not doing stuff like that occasionally, people join us because we're having fun. And if you're constantly no, I can't, no, I can't, no, I can't. And if, that's not your thing, whatever. Maybe they're doing painting with a twist and you always have an excuse to not go to stuff like that. You're not building a network. You're not going to go very far in this business if you don't have a broad network of people that know you, like you, and trust you, and think you're fun. You're just not. That's the bottom line. You are not. You can post 3 times a day, you can do whatever you want, but if you're not building relationships, you're shooting yourself in the foot. So there's a bunch of different ways you can do that and things like that. And message me, talk to me. No, you don't have to go out and drink and, do all this stuff. I might work that way, but you don't have to. That's the beauty of it. But if you're stuck and you can't figure out how to be more active and things like that, talk to me. We can brainstorm some ideas. And the other thing was too that I was asking, and when I was asking these questions this morning, it was oh my gosh, I would have had no answers to this, 2 years ago. But it was, what's one thing you do every day, or almost every day, that's just for you? It does not benefit your spouse or boyfriend, girlfriend, baby mama, whatever. Doesn't benefit that person. It doesn't benefit your children. And it doesn't benefit, your immediate family or whatever. And it has nothing to do with your job. Or if you go to church, it has nothing to do with your church. It's just you. What's something you do every day? I don't care if it's for an hour. It could be, I just sit and do this every day for 5-10 minutes, or I do it for half an hour, whatever. You dedicate some time just to do this. You're not making any money on it. You're not doing whatever, but you're just you're either making yourself happy, or it's something that de-stresses you, or just kind of helps you to focus, whatever. A lot of us enjoy the gym or exercise, if you're doing that almost every day. That can be something. I like to read. I like to read for a few minutes before I go to bed at least. Or Pinterest. Obviously Pinterest is not making me money. But some people like to knit or cross stitch or do crafty stuff. And that's, I have a friend that likes to make little headbands for whatever. She's not making money on it, but she just enjoys doing it. Or maybe you like to do crossword puzzles or the adult coloring books or Sudoku or, taking your dog for a walk. These are things that don't benefit anyone. Obviously, the last one benefits your dog. But, like, they don't benefit anyone. Are your kids a better person because you sit and you do a crossword puzzle for 15 minutes a day? No. Is Maxon benefiting because I go to the gym when he's at school? No. Not directly. Maybe because I'm not as crazy. But no, these are things that just you do for you. And I know it's really easy to be like, but I don't have that time, blah, blah, blah. You can squeeze 15 minutes into your day. And it's sometimes the reboot you need to like focus and be like, okay, it makes you a better, more well-rounded person. I choose a lot of times to do like personal development because then I don't feel so selfish for taking that time for myself. It's like, well, I'm doing this to help grow my business and to help grow as a leader and blah, blah, blah. Whatever it is. But you need that time. And I think it's important, like, maybe you are into cross stitching. Well, great. Find other people that like to cross stitch too. Build your network and things like that. But I think we get into this focus on life where everything has to have an immediate purpose. It has to benefit your family. It has to make you money. It has to help improve your job. It has to do whatever. And then a lot of times we're left with our cup empty and just like, just making it through the days. Well, if you're one of those people that's just making it through the days, you're not going to come across as fun. You're not going to come across as somebody loving life and they're going to be like, oh my gosh, like her post, she's having so much fun. Like it would be great to either join and hang out with her or to do whatever she's doing because she's having a great time or things like that. And it just all comes back in full circle. If you want to grow your business, like I said, you have to network. You have to be the best you that you can be. And I mean, I don't know, like I said, this was going to be really random, but just as I was asking these questions this morning, it was funny to me that 2 years ago, 7 years ago, 8 years ago, whatever, if somebody would have said, oh, what do you do for fun? Or, whatever. I said, oh, I hang out with so-and-so, or, oh, I'm with my child, or, oh, I'm just editing pictures and stuff like that. Like, all stuff that really had nothing to do with me as a person. Whereas now people know I kind of have a sushi addiction. I like wine. I like vodka. Granted, these are not things that make my business money, nor are they choices that are healthy. But people can joke with me about this stuff. People tag me and stuff all the time. So then guess what? I get to interact and I get to build relationships and joke with these people so that they're more comfortable with me. And even teammates, I get to sit and go back and forth and stuff like that. So I get to build our relationship. And it's hard to build relationships with people when it's like, yeah, I don't know anything about them. I just know like, okay, they have a couple of kids and like, they have a husband, but I don't know anything about them. Or, they're in school and they do this, but I don't know. So I don't even know what to say to them because I don't know anything really about them. So you have to put yourself out there. People probably think I'm nuts because I love Janet Jackson, but I put it out there and then, I can take harassment back about it and whatever, and stuff like that. But people know, what I like and what makes me tick and stuff like that. So figure out what makes you tick. Don't be afraid to, put that stuff out there because these are the things that build relationships. And if Joe Schmo down the road really likes drinking, oh gosh, actually one of the posts we've been going back and forth on is somebody likes Canadian Mist or something like that. So then now every time I see it, I start a joke and, just building the relationship. Lots of people know him, but it's like, oh, I'll just build a relationship. Like you can see we're a fun team. We joke around. We'll joke around about booze because we don't care. Like, whatever. Start those relationships. Figure out what makes other people tick and build on those relationships. This business is about relationships. If you aren't forming them or having them, you're not going to go anywhere. And if you're surrounded by relationships that aren't really adding to your future, I know if I would have started this business 3 years ago, it would have sat dead in the water just because I was not in the right place. I was not in the right mindset, and I was not surrounded by the right things. And like I've said in other things, I've lost friendships over this. I'm sure I will lose some more, and that's fine, because the friendships I'm building are so much bigger and so much more important. And the friends that have joined me on this, I haven't really had too many. Like, I don't have a lot of my friends from before joining this business. And that's okay, because sometimes it makes it harder to work when you have like the previous like relationship and whatever. Because it's like, oh, I don't want to tell them they have to run out, or, you know, whatever. Like, it just makes it kind of dicey. But the important thing is getting to know the people on the team. You know, Kelsey and Kaylee, I talk to all the time. Did I know them before? Yes. I've taken pictures for both of them for different things before, but were they somebody I could just call on the phone and shoot, you know, I'll try not to swear, just, you know, go back and forth with? No. But I can now, and I get to, and it's fun. Now, would it have been, like, I could have worked the business and really not got to know them or not get to know some of the other people in my downline and just be like, oh, okay, like, I didn't enroll you, you're just here. But I know to make a strong team, you have to, you know, work on those relationships too and get to know stuff about the people. And it's easy for some people because they put out there, you know, I know that, well, I know Liza's crazy, so she's pretty easy to pick on and stuff like that. I know Christina's got a little girl kind of Maxon's age, and they, you know, don't play the nicest together, so we can joke about that and stuff. I know Jenny and I have talked different relationship things in the past, and so we have kind of a common bond and soft spot for each other there. And, you know, you get to build these relationships, but you have to put yourself out there. And that, like I said, it works for people on the team already, and it works for people you're trying to recruit. So, there's a random video for you. I'm going to go hang out with my kid because I'm going to start having that mommy guilt I talked about since I'll be leaving for Florida. And again, I know I've talked to some people before, like, oh, it's hard to leave my kid because, you know, they haven't got to go on a trip like this, or I can't be away from them that long and things like that. This opportunity that we're going to and that I went to last July with some other people, like, this is an opportunity that grows your business and that makes you a better person. I was talking to actually my cousin's wife yesterday who did not sign with me, silly girl, but she's going with a couple people on her team and she's scared and whatever. And I said, I promise you, I said, I don't know what it'll do for your business. I said, but I promise you, you will grow as a person. Promise you. You will hear so much stuff there that's like, oh, that makes sense, or that's my life, or that's what I want my life to be, or that's, you know, my new mantra, or whatever. Like, it's going to be amazing. So yeah, it's hard, you know, being, you know, without your child, or when we went last time, it was, you know, a week without Max, and I had never been that long without him. But I had a new love for the little crazy man and things like that. And I came back, I think, you know, a better person that was like, okay, I am going to do this because I see what this can do for us. So again, you have to sacrifice and things like that. And I think oftentimes, again, I was talking to DT today, and how you're raised. I know I saw my mom, which I love my mama, and she always sacrificed for us. It was always put our needs first, running us around, doing whatever, helping other people to live their dreams that maybe weren't hers, but she did it like a badass and things like that. And she's been through so much, but the whole time it was always kind of sacrificing, like I said, putting our needs first. And obviously I'm grateful for that. And I think she's incredible, but in the same token, I'm not bashing you, Mom, don't worry. you know, in my reading and stuff like that too, like I know that my whole life can't revolve around, you know, Maxton and stuff like that. Like he needs to see that I have dreams, I have goals, I have aspirations, and I am going to work hard to make them happen. Like that's what I want him to see and stuff like that. So that he in turn goes and does things like that too. Thankfully, like I said, my mom is a badass and things like that. So, she's just a very loving, supportive person that's always been my rock and my go-to. And yeah, she's awesome. So just find people, learn from them, put yourself out there repeatedly and repeatedly and repeatedly. Like, you know, I put sushi probably every other week, but you know what? Every other week I get interactions from people. And people will, you know, stop me and be like, oh, do you have sushi this week? Like, you know, it's ridiculous and whatever, but it starts conversations. So find what makes you tick. Make some time for yourself. Stop and ask yourself. I would like you to stop and ask yourself after you make it through this long, ridiculous me rambling and say, what do I do every day just for me? And I would please private message it to me. I want to hear. I want to see. I want to know. Like I said, and if you don't have an answer, make some time. Figure out an answer and start doing it because we all deserve a little time. We have 24 hours in a day. We all deserve 15 to 20 minutes. That's just for us. So I love you guys, and I will talk to you later. Bye.